The 3 skills that I'm about to share won't just improve your photography, they'll help you decide how to expose, how to capture powerful moments, and how to compose a certain way. And yes, you won't need any expensive camera or gear. These skills are so powerful they'll completely change your photography career. Before I used to walk into the shoot, I would just pick up a camera and start shooting. And now I use these skills and these are the results. Same camera, same subject, same photographer, but a totally different mindset. Skill number 1 is exposure, but I don't mean exposure by shutter speed and aperture. That's not what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about the what and the why of exposure. Like, what should you expose and why should you expose? That is what's going to make you different compared to everybody else, including the AI generated images, right? The way I go about my what and the why, like take a look at this horse image. What did I want to photograph? Obviously, I want to photograph the horses. So the what is always dependent on the artist and the photographer because you choose the what you want your audience to see. Now, why do you want to expose it in this manner, whichever manner you choose? And the reason why I like to expose it is because I like to guide my audience's eye through the frame. And the only way I can make them go through my frame is with exposure. My job as an artist, as a photographer, is to make it easy for my audience to go through the image or look at a certain part of my image. I make it easy by doing one thing. I make the subject that I want them to look at the darkest and make everything bright, or I will make the subject the brightest and make everything else dark. Because at the end of the day, it's all about your audience. It's all about your viewer. And if you don't guide them, they are not going to feel your image. There won't be any emotions. Let's look at this wolf image. We've come close to selling about, say, 27. It sells pretty damn good with us. The reason why it's selling so well is because I'm guiding my viewer's eyes straight to the wolf. So when I was shooting, I was saying to myself, okay, you know what? I want my viewer to see the wolf. And okay, how do I take my viewer's eye through the frame? By making it the darkest in the frame and putting everything else to being lighter. Automatically, our subconscious mind will go directly to the place that's the darkest or the brightest. And that is your job as an artist, to guide your audience's eye. And that is the difference between somebody who picks up the phone like this one and go click click versus an artist creating that. Ask that question, hone in that skill, do it repeatedly again and again and again before you go to the shoot, while you are at the shoot, and even in retouching. Ask that question, why should I expose? And that why is going to make a difference between you, any other photographer, or AI generated images. Alright guys, point number 2, what to focus on your subject. Yes, I said that right. What to focus on your subject. When I say what to focus on your subject, of course you're going to go focus on the eye, but what is it that you are going to focus on? And in order to know what you are going to focus on, you have to know your subject. And the only way you are going to know your subject is to research your subject. These are some of the questions that I ask myself. And so if you guys want to just take out a pen and paper and jot these down. So here are the questions. What do they do? Question number 2, when do they do it? Question number 3, why do they do it? Question number 4, how do they do it? Question number 5, how do they react? Question number 6, why do they react? Knowing the answers to all these questions I promise you, is going to put you into the driver's seat when you are photographing your subject, and you are going to get the best out of the best actions, emotions out of your subject. That means your image is going to be so much better. Basically, what I'm trying to say to you is know your subject inside out. Like, I knew this one and this one and this one. I knew what they were going to do. I knew when they were going to do it, how they were going to do it. It makes you a better photographer, not just chasing the thing. You also can predict. You can also say, hey, you know what? This is something that I haven't seen about this subject before. Now I can see it, so I can show it to my audience. And guess what? Your audience is going to love it because they've never seen something like this before.
I'm just speechless here at the magnificent work that I've seen he's done.
And here is another thing that I'm going to say to you that you must absolutely do. Get on location and you should view your subject. It's got to be through your camera, and just view your subject. Don't take a photograph, just take it in. Just keep seeing what they do, how they do, why they do it, what is the reaction, why are they running, why are they not running, X, Y, Z, whatever. Just do it through your camera. Don't shoot. Fight your temptation of shooting. And what's happening right now is you are just sending in all that information to your brain, to your subconscious mind as well. You are picking in your brain what you are going to shoot. So when you do shoot, you're going to shoot something unbelievable because your subconscious mind, which is faster than your conscious mind, already knows what is the best to shoot for or from. Yeah, for your subject. I think it's for your subject. Anyway, so what to focus on your subject is so important. See, I have shown you all these images, and it's coming from knowing what I wanted to shoot in these subjects, because I wanted to show the wings. I wanted to show the needle sort of a look of the beak. I wanted to show how the wolf looks in a very sly way. I wanted to show that, and the only way I could show that is to first see. And when you go click, you're only clicking when you can see what your brain has already seen in the past. Of course, I didn't get to shoot these wolves again and again, but I did my research before getting over there to Ellesmere Island. I knew what they would do, kind of. I watched videos, I watched images. In my mind, I had already seen it. And then when I saw them, I did pause for 2-3 minutes and understand what I was shooting. And when I got to understand what I was shooting, matched it up in my brain with all the research that I had done, bang, this is what I got. So point number 2 is very important. You must know your subject like yourself. You must know, and that is going to make you a very different, very artistic, a photographer that shows things that you cannot see anywhere else, or a photographer that has images that are so emotional and you get connected to them. Skill number 3, we are going to talk about something that I used to ignore, and I believe a lot of photographers ignore all the time, and that is your foreground and your background. When it comes to background and foreground, what is the role that I make my background and foreground do? I make my background and foreground enhance my subject or direct my viewer's eye into the subject. And the way I do it is when I get on location, I will look around and I'll say to myself, oh, I need trees in the back, so the tree is the darkest, or the tree is the lightest. Oh, I need this foreground to point straight to my subject, so this way the eye is guided to my subject. Or I need to block the viewer's eye in such a way that they are forced to look at my puma's face. And what I'm trying to say is your foreground and background will make you an exceptional photographer. But it doesn't just come by going on location and going, okay, subject is here, click, click. No, what and how you are going to utilize the background and foreground is you're going to go on location and you're going to say, hey, that tree, I don't want it there. Hey, this one, I don't want this there. And you're going to move from one side to the other side. So when the subject does show up, you are going to utilize your foreground and your background to guide your audience's eyes straight to your subject. You can use your foreground, you can use your background with contrast, with making it the darkest or the lightest, with leading lines, XYZ. There are so many ways to utilize your foreground and background, but we don't think about it. And I think that is a absolute shame that we don't. I didn't either. I have started to, and I talk to myself all the time. I mean, sometimes people that are near me and they're watching me photograph, they say, this guy is a madman because I'm talking, and sometimes it's loud, it's coming out of my lips. Love it when they run with all the muscles in there. But sometimes it's just going on in my brain. I'm asking myself these questions. And I think if you hone in on these 3 skills, 2025 onwards, your photography skills will be unmatched. I'm not speaking about the technicalities of photography. I'm not speaking about shutter speed. I'm not speaking about megapixels. I'm not speaking any of that. What I'm speaking about is the whys and the whats and the so on and so forth, because those are the most important thing about photography. It's like if I ask you, why do you eat? Will you ever go back and say, I eat because I have to, because I have a stomach? No, I don't think so. I think you're going to turn around and say, I eat because I enjoy my food. I eat because I'm programmed to eat my food. It's the same thing with photography. We are programmed to see images, but once an image shows up that guides your eye to it, I think that makes a world of a difference. And then those are the images that you get attracted to. Those are the images that you want to eat, basically, right? With the overabundance of photographs, with the overabundance of the AI generated image, it's a pleasure, I should say, to see an image that is created by an artist that's leading, that's guiding your eye and telling you, hey, look at this, look at the emotions in here, look at that, because they're giving you the time to watch and to view your image. Your audience is giving you the time by viewing and watching. It's your job, your responsibility to make sure that you guide them so this way they get engaged with your art. Hone in on these 3 skills. They don't require extra expensive cameras. They don't require anything other than this thing here. So please try that. And then when you get amazing images that talk and speak and direct your audience, send me a message, because we have got so many messages in the past few weeks saying, hey, Ejaz, I started doing this and this, the way you explained it, and my images are turning out better. Trust me, that is music. I love that because I did not go to school for photography. I learned from my own mistakes. And when somebody sends me a message saying to me, hey, Ejaz, your advice, your tips, your tutorials have helped me and I'm getting better images, it makes me feel like I'm cutting down on their time of messing up, right? Because I messed up so much. Every 1,000 images I would take, I would get maybe 1. So that is the time that I would like my audience to save. And that's why I'm doing this. And it's so humbling to know that what I speak has helped others. I'll speak to you guys soon. Thank you.